Please join me in a moment of silence in memory of Dr. Madison F. Dixon. Thank you. Mr. Gilbert Westbury will lead us in the singing of God Bless America. Mr. Westbury will sing the first verse, and we'll all join in singing the refrain. The words are on the last page of your program. Don't fall down. That's kind of big.
While the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair, as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night, the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Please be seated. A lot of excitement here tonight. I would like to welcome you, the graduates, your relatives and friends, the faculty, administration, and staff, as we gather on this memorable evening. You, the class of 2009, have accomplished much through perseverance, ingenuity, determination, and perhaps a little intervention That is, help from family and friends. Tonight is a time of eager anticipation as you look forward to your future. It is as well a time for reflection. Please take time to reflect on how you have changed from that first day that you enrolled at East Georgia College. What has inspired you? What has excited you? What values and passions have you acquired? How has your attitude and your intellect changed? What have been your successes? What have been your failures? Yes, please remember the failures. As you took on the challenges of college, I hope you've learned that failure, like success, is a part of life. Don't be embarrassed by failure. Embrace it. Learn from it. Abraham Lincoln is considered by most historians to be our greatest president. But when he was elected president in 1860, he had lost far more elections than he had won. History has proven that there's a delicate balance, a fine line between failure and success. In some cases, the difference between the two is perseverance. In others, it's ingenuity, luck, or maybe even time that blurs the line between the two. By all accounts, George Ruth Jr. had to overcome the worst of all possible childhoods. 6 of his siblings died as infants. His mother and father sent him to a reform school for incorrigibles. As a baseball player, George struck out 1,330 times. 1 in every 7 times he came to the plate. Not a very good percentage. Yet George Herman Babe Ruth hit 714 home runs, a record that stood for 4 decades. In the cases of Mr. Lincoln and the Babe, perseverance tipped the scale to success, and what successes they were. Sometimes ingenuity tips the balance, especially when it's coupled with perseverance. The Wright brothers overcame 3 years of dismal failures, crashes, disappointments to become the first to fly a plane under its own power. History tells us that first flight went only 200 or 300 yards in a straight line, lasted less than a minute. 2 years later, they were flying figure eights and staying aloft for over half an hour. Both ingenuity and perseverance played a role in their success. In some cases, it helps to have a little luck. Construction began on the Tower of Pisa in 1173 and continued with a couple of interruptions for almost 200 years. Until recently, sometime in the 20th century, it was widely believed that the lean we so famously know in the tower was part of the original design. We know now that that's not true. Imagine the magnitude of that mistake. A building 179 feet tall, 16 feet out of vertical alignment. Was the tower a failure or a success? From a construction point of view, it was a failure. Yet over time, the Tower of Pisa has become one of the world's most recognized and endearing landmarks. Do not ever underestimate the power of luck and time. The fact is, if you never fail, you're not reaching far or high enough. The safe path may avoid failures, but it will rarely fulfill your grandest dreams. I encourage each of you in this class graduating tonight to reach and stretch in setting your goals. Despite the possibility of failure, if you reach far enough and stretch high enough, I firmly believe that you will succeed. Finally, I offer my congratulations for your commitment, for your challenges conquered, for projects completed, for goals reached, and even surpassed in your time at East Georgia College. Tonight marks a milestone for you. It's the culmination of at least 2 years, and in some cases more, of a successful journey and accomplishment. You should all be very proud, and we gather to honor you tonight. Savor the moment, and enjoy the ceremony. Our speaker tonight is a native of Millen, Georgia, an honor graduate of Jenkins County High School. He graduated from Emory University and Emory Law School with honors. He served as Judge Advocate General while in the United States Air Force and Deputy Assistant Attorney General for the state of Georgia. Judge Reeves moved to Swainsboro in 1974 and practiced law for over 30 years. He now serves as Superior Court Judge for the Middle Judicial District Circuit in Georgia. He and his wife Daisy have 3 children, Scott, Chris, and Macy, 2 grandchildren, Ansley and Allison. You can read more about Judge Reeves and his impressive honors and community service accomplishments in the program. But before I bring him to the podium, I want to tell you a few things that are not in the program. Judge Reeves is an outdoor man. He loves to hunt and he loves to fish. He grows daylilies, 1,000 different varieties. He loves to dance. He's usually, I've noticed, the last man standing at any party. He won the local Dancing with the Stars in 2007. He's an expert skier. Emphasis on the expert. No bunny slope for this judge. He goes for tall mountains, the Rockies, the Alps. He began his employment in a Gulf oil station at the age of 7, standing on a crate to wash windshields and change the oil. This job lasted through high school and in the summers of college and law school. Judge Reeves is an entrepreneur. He has plans to write a book. 1,000 things one can do with a coat hanger. That should make him a millionaire. Please join me in welcoming Judge Bobby Reeves, a true friend and supporter of East Georgia College.
Consider the word commencement. It comes from the word commence, which means to begin. So this is not an address to you graduates as you end your careers here at East Georgia College. It's a message to you as you begin the rest of your life. So I suppose that means that I'm supposed to be here to give you some instruction on how to best proceed with the rest of your life. Now, realistically, okay, I know you're not really listening. And I know you're not going to remember much about what is said here tonight. As J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter books, I know y'all all know who she is, joked recently when she was speaking at a graduation exercise that she did not even remember the commencement speech at her graduation. Quite frankly, neither do I. But she said that therefore, I can proceed without any fear that I might inadvertently influence you to abandon promising careers in business, the law, or politics for the giddy delights of becoming a gay wizard. So she knew that what we say to you tonight isn't going to change a whole lot. It's not, maybe a good thing, that is, that we won't divert you from some higher goal that you may have and may be attending. Now, I could just come here tonight and I could just say to you, as Ted Turner did in a commencement address. He approached the podium. He said, "Lead, follow, or get out of the way." And he sat down. So I could do that, and you might remember this commencement address, but that's been done. So I'm going to do a little bit more than that. The first thing you have to be successful is to have a goal. You got to know what it is that you're going after, what it is that you seek. For some of you, this may be the stopping point in your education. You may be going to go on out into the business world or into a job. And if so, that's fine. If that's your goal, then that's fine. Some of you have as a goal a 4-year degree, and you want to go on to college somewhere else and get a 4-year degree. Perhaps others might want to go into law or medicine or become a professor, a doctor of history, or some of those other things that you can come and teach. But whatever it is, you have to have a goal. And then you have to have a roadmap. How do you intend to get from here to there? Think about that. Many of you are starting out with the rest of your life, and you know sort of vaguely what you want to accomplish, but you don't have a roadmap of how to get there. If I were to hire you tonight to drive a truck to Great Falls, Montana, I used to live there, but I'd have to have a roadmap. And you would have to have a roadmap that told you how to get there. Do you head out US 1 South or 80 East? No. You'd have to have a roadmap that would tell you how to get to where it is you want to go. So we need to have a goal. We need to know what it is we want to accomplish. And we need to have a roadmap to hopefully get us there. Now, the other things that you need, I'm going to mention 4 different things. Part of that is what I call the 3 Ds of success: desire, determination, and dedication. Now, I know you've got the desire because you're here. You're here, you're working to earn a degree. Many of you have had to work at another job while working at earning your degree. So desire is a given. I know that you want to succeed, because otherwise you would not be here tonight sitting in those beautiful green robes and hats. Determination. Webster defines determination as a firm intention. I believe each of you sit there tonight with a firm intention to achieve your goals. You leave here fully with that intention in mind. But desire and a firm intention just won't get it done, because as the old saying goes, the road to hell is paved with firm intentions, or something like that. So you might ask yourself then, what's that 3rd D? Dedication. Well, what's the difference between determination and dedication? They sound alike. Many would make them the same. Well, think about this for a minute. If you decide that you want to lose weight and you're going to go on a desire, and you've got on a diet, and you've got a desire to lose weight, and you're determined to do, you have a firm intention to do that. How often does that really happen? We got an exercise machine at my house. It does nothing but collect dust and hold the clothes that I hang on it every now and then. We had a firm intention when we bought that exercise machine to walk on it and work on it. But we weren't dedicated to doing that. Dedication means long-term, hard work, and it has to last. So when you have a few minutes and you're in school seeking your further degree, or you're working at a job and you have to decide, am I going to work a little harder? Am I going to study more? Am I going to stay here tonight and study, or am I going to go out with friends? Or am I going to stay here on the job until it gets finished? Or am I going to go out with friends or go fishing or do something else? If you merely have the desire and a firm intention, most likely you're going to do something else. If you're dedicated, you'll stay till the job is done. Let me give you some examples of people who I know and have some personal experience with, who I think are heroes showing dedication. First is a young woman whom I will call Mary. Back a number of years ago now, Mary entered the Miss Emmanuel County pageant. When she came to the first day of orientation, it was obvious to everyone there that Mary simply did not fit in. She wasn't like everybody else, and I'll tell you more about that in a few minutes. So I figured that, well, she's just here tonight. She's going to see what this is all about. She's going to realize that she doesn't really fit in, and she won't come back tomorrow. The next day of orientation, she came back. She sat, she listened, she took notes, tried to soak up as much of it as she could. I still didn't think that she'd actually show up when it came time for the pageant, for the rehearsals on Thursday night and Friday night, and the pageant on Saturday. Thursday night, 6 o'clock, the time set to begin. As the producer and director of the pageant, I had made firm rules that if you're not here at 6 o'clock, we start at 6 o'clock, we will start without you. If I have to rearrange the order of contestants, you're out. Cannot compete. So as I say, just as I expected, she wasn't there, so I didn't hesitate to go ahead and rearrange the order of the contestants, rearrange their places on the stage, and begin the rehearsal. About 9 o'clock, she showed up. A backstage worker came to me and said, "Mary is here." My first reaction, of course, was to say, well, I'm sorry. We're 3 hours into this rehearsal. We've rearranged the contestants. We've done all of these placements without her. She simply is out. But I could tell from the look on that worker's face that, and she didn't say anything. She just had a look on her face that said, well, okay. And I let her get back in. And we rearranged the order and let her rehearse. When it came time to rehearse her talent, she had a very tattered leotard, holes in it, solid black, playing the song that they played over the PA system was very poorly recorded, obviously recorded by somebody holding a portable tape player in front of a record player to record the music that she was going to do her dance to. It simply was true that she didn't fit in, and I couldn't believe that she would be there and compete. But during a break, I found out why she was late. She had been at work on a farm somewhere between Stillmore and US 1, cropping tobacco. Most of y'all don't know what cropping tobacco is, but it's hard, cruel work. She missed her ride with her cousin because she had to stay and continue working until the job was finished. So she had to walk to town to get to the rehearsal. The word spread. Staff members helped out. Somebody volunteered to take her home and to make sure she could get there the next night. Somebody else volunteered to help her with a new tape for her talent. Somebody else arranged a ride to take her to the next rehearsal and to pick her up for the pageant. Saturday night came. The pageant ran smoothly. Other contestants were there, and if you've ever been to a pageant, you know they've all got on swimsuits that have never seen a drop of water. And never were intended to be. She wore the swimsuit that she swam in the creek close to her house. There were ladies there in expensive gowns, sequins, all sorts of fancy dresses. She wore one that was made with the drapes that a friend had thrown out and given her mother several years earlier. But she refused to quit. She was dedicated. Ordinarily, we awarded 3 places: winner, first runner-up, second runner-up in the Miss Emmanuel County pageant. But this year we had 4 contestants, and we decided, well, you couldn't do 3 and leave 1 standing, so we'd just do 4. The scholarship people got out and rounded up a little more scholarship money, got up another trophy, and on Saturday night we awarded 4 places. Of course, third runner-up was announced, and the third runner-up was Mary. 4th out of 4. Dead last. But she beamed when she went onto that stage to get her trophy as if she had won. It was amazing. The audience, the staff especially, had tears in their eyes because she was so happy to be on that stage receiving a plaque. She was probably the first in her family to win anything. We all thought that that's why she was proud and that's why she had come, was to win a trophy and to receive the applause on the stage. But the rest of the story. A couple of years later, Daisy and I were sitting there in the kitchen, and she was reading me the Forest Blade. I don't read the Blade, so she reads it and tells me what I need to know. And we were reading the Forest Blade, and there was a picture in the Forest Blade of the graduating class of Swainsboro Tech. She looked at it and she said, "There's Mary. There's Mary in this picture." I looked at it, and sure enough, there she was. She had graduated from Swainsboro Tech. Her goal, you see, was to earn scholarship money to go to school. A couple of years later, she was in there again, graduating from East Georgia College. Now, 4th place didn't carry that much money, but back in those days, and we may still, every contestant who entered got a scholarship to East Georgia College. And every contestant who entered got a scholarship to Swainsboro Tech. That had been her goal, was to get that education. And there she was. Now she had 2 degrees. Then she went to Georgia Southern University. And now she's a teacher. She had desire. All of those contestants had desire. She had determination. But most of all, she had dedication. She didn't quit because she missed her ride. She walked to town. Took her over 2 hours to get there. How many of the others had that kind of dedication? When you think about it, graduates, whether you're going to study a little harder, or you're going to go out with your friends, or you want to lay in the bed for an extra hour or 2, think about Mary. Think about that dedication that it takes to succeed and to meet your goal. Another example, Cara Martin. I don't know if y'all have heard of Cara Martin. Cara Martin was a young lady from Statesboro, Georgia. I think her father was a professor at Georgia Southern. She was a perennial entrant in the Miss Southeast Georgia pageant. She entered, didn't win, didn't place. Entered again, didn't win. I don't think she placed. She may have placed somewhere low the second time. But she also was dedicated. I've never seen anything like it. She took then those losses and said, all right, what am I doing wrong? She bought videotapes of how to compete in pageants. She got all the Miss Georgia pageant tapes and watched the contestants. She watched their walk. She watched their talk. She watched what they did. She watched what they wore. She studied very hard to learn how to win. She was a flute player. Now, I don't know if you understand this or not, but not many flute players flautists I think they call them, win pageants. So she taught herself to dance. She bought tapes, and she studied, and she studied, and she taught herself to dance. And she taught herself a dance. She couldn't do all the steps. If you'd told her to do this step or that step, she wouldn't know how to do that, and you couldn't put it together to give her a dance to do. But she learned that dance, and she came back, and she won Miss Southeast Georgia. She went to Miss Georgia to compete. She won Miss Georgia. She went to Miss America. And then when there were only 2 girls left standing on the stage in Miss America who had tied for Miss America, she was one of those 2. There was a vote off, and she became the first runner-up. She made herself into a winner. Now, why was she so dedicated to spend all those hours studying those tapes, studying those lessons? Because in the process, she won over $30,000 in scholarships, which sent her to medical school. And now she is a medical doctor practicing in the Atlanta area. She had the desire, she had the determination. And because she was dedicated to finding and reaching her goal, when you're deciding whether to study a little harder, or if you're in the workforce and you're deciding, am I going to stay and get this job done? Am I going to do the job right so that I can succeed and move further in my company? Think about Carol Martin and her dedication. For you guys, there's another perfect example. Think about Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker came from a small high school over in Wrightsville, Georgia, Class A school, small as it gets in the state of Georgia. When he went to the University of Georgia, I'll never forget the conversation and the talk. Well, you know, he was all right in high school, but he wasn't up against the big boys. He was in Class A. He was just playing the little guys. He's not ready for big-time college football. It'll take a long time for us to develop him into a big-time college player. Herschel Walker did not start the first game of his college career. He was on the bench because they didn't think he was ready. But when it came time, you see, when he was in high school to do those extra 100 push-ups or those sit-ups, Herschel did them. First game of the year, playing the University of Tennessee. Georgia's behind in the third quarter, 14-0. They had the ball in Tennessee territory down on about the 15. I'm not sure if some of you people who watch football real carefully might know the exact yard line they were on, but it's somewhere around the 15, 18 yard line. They gave Herschel the ball. Like a blast out of a cannon, he soared between the small hole that the lineman had built for him. 2 linebackers were approaching him on about the 8 yard line. They both hit him on about the 8 yard line and bounced off like ping pong balls off a brick wall. Boom, both of them on the ground. Between Herschel Walker and the goal line was Bill Bates. Bill Bates was an all-star, all-American defensive back at Tennessee, later to go to the Dallas Cowboys and become an all-star in the defensive backfield at Dallas. Herschel hit him head-on, head-to-head, knocked him on his back, and literally ran over him to the goal line. He went on to lead his team to victory that day, 15-14, which was the first game in an undefeated season, which gave Georgia the national championship. He was dedicated to his goal. When it came time to do those last 100 push-ups or go out with his friends, Herschel did the last 100 push-ups because he was dedicated to accomplishing his goal. When you're deciding whether to study a little longer or lay in the bed or go out with your friends and have a couple of beers, when you're deciding whether to work a little longer to get the job done right or to go fishing, remember these stars, Mary, Carol, and Herschel. You can reach and exceed your goals just as they did if you're dedicated. And I would be remiss if I did not mention tonight the dedication of one other individual. If Dr. Madison Dixon could be here tonight, he would be here. I know that because he had requested that he be allowed to be the commencement speaker on this 35th anniversary. That wish obviously was granted, as it would have been. Dr. Black called me and said, Dr. Dixon wants to give the commencement address. I said, that's a great choice. He said, will you be ready and be the backup? I didn't mind being second place. So I know if he could be here, he would be here. Back in the late 60s and early 70s, there were many people in Swainsboro who had a desire to have a college here. There were many people in Swainsboro who were determined to try to get a college here. But there was one man who was dedicated to make sure it happened. And I'm not sure most of you understand what was at play there. The people of Emmanuel County had to vote a tax on themselves to build the initial buildings here. It wasn't just a matter of do you want it and can you get the land. The land was given, as you know, by Ms. Gambrell. But the taxpayers had to vote a tax on themselves to get this college to be here. And Madison Dixon was the one man who led that fight and who convinced the people. He was relentless, in talking to people and convincing them that we needed a college. He was dedicated. He worked those long hours. So when you are trying to decide whether to study a little bit harder, study on that Friday night because you've got a test on Monday, or to stay at the job and finish the job, make sure it gets done. Think about the dedication of Madison Dixon to make sure you had this opportunity tonight. But I'm not quite finished. I told you there were 4 things that you needed to have. One of them, of course, was the desire. One was to be determined. The other was to be dedicated to being one of these stars. But you've still got to go out and you've got to present yourself. You have to have a positive attitude about how you proceed with life. You have to be out in the public with enthusiasm. You're the product. You have to be proud of that product and have to have the enthusiasm to show people that you're proud, and therefore they ought to want you to be a part of whatever it is you want them to hire you to do. You have to have the excitement. You have to have the 3 Ds, and you have to have excitement. You have to be excited about what you're going to. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, let me give you another example. Think about this. I know you've all thought about this before, and you professors have thought about this many times. Think about duck eggs and chicken eggs. I know y'all have pondered many times why it is that when you go to the grocery store and you want to buy a dozen eggs, what kind do they have? They have chicken eggs. Duck eggs are bigger. Duck eggs have more nutrition. Why don't we eat duck eggs? Think about that for a minute. Nobody wants duck eggs. Now, the reason for that is this. Some of you may have never seen a duck. Some of you have never seen a chicken lay an egg. But when the ducks lay an egg, you might remember my at all. Chicken laying an egg. Laying an egg. That's why we want chicken eggs. Nobody's excited about that. So you see, you've got to be excited about your life. You've got to be excited about what it is that you're doing. You've got to have the desire. You've got to have the determination. You've got to have the dedication. But all that's worth nothing if you're not excited about who you are and what it is that you have to offer. Desire, determination, dedication, and excitement. If you got that, then you'll succeed. Thank you.
Will the candidates for the degree Associate in Arts please rise? President Black, these candidates have completed all the coursework required for their degree and have been approved by the faculty. It is my distinct pleasure to present them to you for the conferring of their degrees.
By the authority vested in me by the Chancellor and the Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia, I confer upon you the Associate in Arts degree with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereunto. Please come forward and receive your diplomas.
Katie Jessica Best, cum laude. Shamika Latrell Bethay. Angelica Bowers. Nancy Kate Boyette. Amber Renee Brantley. Roy Anthony Calloway. Regina Denise Coney. Peter Jimmy Espinoza II, cum laude. Talithia Latice Foreman. Jenna Lee Garrett. Samantha Gay. Marcy Griffey. Jerry Joydana Hayes. Casey Adam Henry. Shanna Maria Hitchcock. Booker T. Hobbs. Charlotte Yvette Eason. Kristen Brianna Jones, cum laude.
Another little East Georgia College tradition.
Natalie Michelle Jordan. Massey Phillips Kite, cum laude. Rachel Lynn Kirkland. Kelly Ann LaSala, cum laude. Megan Elizabeth Loya, cum laude. Ryan Morris McDonald, summa cum laude. Melina Kirsten McGee. Jose Luis Mancilla, cum laude. Sierra Frost Moore. Brandon Dwayne Morgan, cum laude. Just you. Chip Morgan. Livia Ann Morris, summa cum laude. Anna Rosa Perez. Heather Marie Porcel, summa cum laude. Eshel Foreman Reese, magna cum laude. Jim Lee Richardson, summa cum laude. Georgia Torella Robertson. Doris J. Sherrod. Shakari C. Smiley. Jessica Renee Thigpen. Rebecca Christian Thomas. Alexa Michelle Watkins. Benjamin Kyle Wilkes.
It's a long-standing tradition that after receiving a college degree, that the cap tassel is moved from the right side to the left side. This signifies to everyone who sees you that the degree is completed. Please move your tassels. Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, I think we can do better than that. Let's take the roof off. Thank you. I can tell from your enthusiasm that this is a special class, and I've known that for a good while. Will the graduates please turn and face the audience? You're now facing your family and friends who have supported you as you've earned your degree. Please recognize them, graduates. They're serving something in the back that we're missing out. Now, graduates, if you would, turn back and face the stage. Before you on the stage, the faculty and staff that supported you and guided you on this educational journey that you've completed tonight. Please show them your appreciation. Will the audience please rise and join the graduates as Mr. Westbury leads us in the singing of the East Georgia College alma mater. The words are on the inside of the back cover of your program. Please remain standing for the recessional. After the recessional, you're invited to join the graduates, the faculty and staff for a reception just outside the auditorium in the rotunda.
We had a chance to practice yesterday. Right, guys? They're going to help. You'll get the hang of it after the first verse, all right?
In the heart of eastern Georgia, 'neath the pines of green, proudly stands our alma mater, noble and serene. Lift the chorus to East Georgia, let her grace be told. Glory to our alma mater, hail to green and gold. May thy triumphs, dear East Georgia, ever be proclaimed. May the loyal sons and daughters magnify thy name. Lift the chorus to East Georgia, let a grace be told. Glory to our alma mater, hail to grain and gold. Through the years of time's swift passing, we shall ever be one with thee, our alma mater, one with EGC. Lift the chorus to East Georgia, let her grace be told. Glory to our alma mater, hail to grain and gold.